Never before in all our history have these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
The needs of working families and the middle class, not just the billionaire class. We know what's going on. We are paying attention.
Good morning, everybody. It is the end of the corporate age. Maybe it'll be the end of the NFL, or the beginning of the end of the NFL. That's why we have Colin up there for a number of reasons. Actually, did you know that he's the Week 1 MVP? I just want to start off with that. He's not actually playing football in the league right now, but the Players Association can decide who they want to be MVP, and apparently they picked Colin. So congratulations, Colin, on being the MVP. You truly are. Because you're actually standing up for something that the rest of the NFL should be standing up for that they're not. So
or kneeling down for, actually.
Yes. Yes, kneeling down for, whatever you choose to do. Somebody mentioned that he actually sits. I've seen him do both. Whatever. Take a knee is trending right now on Twitter. It's Saturday. I'm wearing my Save the Galaxy Planet Cannabis shirt. Good morning, everybody. It's, hey, John, Louise, Eco Sutra, Patricia Hernandez, Jim Lockett, Jilly Love, Barbara, Phil, Jeffrey, how are you doing today? Good morning, everybody. I know there's a lot more people in here that I'm missing names, and I'm sorry. I'll scroll up here. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. How many people so far? Come on, analytics. YouTube is giving me problems. All right, we've got 20 people more showing up because it's a Saturday. And, of course, I've got Laura and Marcus with us today. Ladies first. Good morning, Laura. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Do I have sound?
You do?
Can you hear me? Good. It's always embarrassing to start and then not be heard. Doing
I only
great.
did that on purpose.
It's a lovely day in California, and happy to see you all on our Saturday show, my favorite day of the week.
There you go. Thank you, Laura. Laura has been busy booking us filled through, where are we up to, December now with Weeda Peeps?
We just finished filling November, but we've got December's wide open.
Exciting. Hey, Dan Shepard. How you doing from Northern Ireland? That's awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Thank you, Laura. Oh. Yeah. Chris Bailey, good morning. John Warren, good morning. Paula, good morning. How you guys doing? What does it say up there? Apple S. Too bad you can't grow your own bud. I'm sorry. You can. You just got to be sneaky about it. Right.
We were just talking about trimming and the virtues and delights of trimming as a meditation.
Exactly. Can you guys hear the frog? Can you hear?
Yeah.
That's one of our famous little Pacific Northwest frogs. They are everywhere right now. They're really loving what we've got, kind of cooler temperatures and a little bit foggy in the morning, and then warms up later on a day. And I was out. We have a little pond with fish, and we have a cover over the food that sits on a table because of the rain. I lift up the cover, and a frog jumps onto me. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to be here."
I told you when we were camping in your backyard for the eclipse under the grape arbor, we had a little frog that was right up in the grape arbor above us that liked to make that noise. Might even be the same one.
Nice.
Middle of the night.
Hey, DJ Dialogue, how are you doing? Yeah, you guys. It's gonna be. Yeah, Patricia, she is the powerhouse for that. DJ legalizing cannabis in Canada, right? Now you got to get Trudeau to stop talking out of his ass because he looks like a good guy, and he's certainly better than most of the people we have in government. But he's still a neo-lib because he's all happy with the oil companies still and the fracking. That's not doing you any good. There, you guys are going to be the vacation spot here in about 5 years. Realize that it won't be Canada, the land of the cold. It'll be Canada, the new Mediterranean. So enjoy.
Not a whole lot of beachfront property in Canada now, so yeah, that would be a change.
There will be, I'm guessing. There will be. Marcus Krantz is also with us, our number one German. Marcus, good morning, sir.
Good morning, John. Good morning, Laura. And of course, good morning, America. Yeah, it is a Saturday evening already here, and it was a quite pleasurable day. And yeah, we are having our show, and let's rock.
Thank you so much. Marcus and Laura have really become the people behind organizing all of the other volunteers in terms of getting shit done. With Ashley Terry taking all of the graphics needs and helping us with that stuff. I've got a version 1 of the promo that we're putting together for Live View that I'm not going to show you because I'm just going to tell you that it made me jump with glee, and it's amazing. And Ashley is extremely talented, and we are lucky to have his services being volunteer donated right now, and also sweat equity within the nonprofit, because without his abilities, which none of us really have, you've seen my editing work. It's important to recognize the creatives, because I've burned out about 5 of them going through this work. So I just thank you, Ashley, for all your work. And everybody in this org is a creative. That's why we made credits, right? It's the least we could do to recognize everybody that's involved, and that includes everybody in the audience. The next thing we got to do, actually, and I was just thinking about this, Laura and Marcus, is we need to get together a credits list of patrons and sponsors.
Oh, okay. Absolutely.
So we're going to put together that list, and I'll probably make a form, but any of you out there who have donated in the past or are donating now, I'm going to go off my Patreon list that I have, and I know some of you don't donate through Patreon. Some of you donate in other ways, the GoFundMes in the past. We're going to put that together, and again, if you don't see your name, it's on you.
Almost.
Not us. But seriously, I want to give you credit for that, so thank you guys. Anyway, what's going on? So were we talking about Eco just for a second? Moving to, where are you? Are you in Eugene, Eco? That's what
he moved to Eugene. We clarified. He's already moved.
Okay, great. Well, welcome, and come on by. It's just 40 minutes away. Come on up. I got lots. Do you want any fruit?
Eco, do you need fruit? It's a super easy drive from Eugene to where John is.
Come on up and bring an empty truck, and come get some table grapes and some plums and some jam, and just come on up. Seriously. We got stuff. I can't do enough with it. We don't want to bring the gleaners in this year because we're really trying to learn how to manage what we've got, and they're kind of like a herd that comes through and wipes things clean, really. But you want to come on up and help us eat some of this food and take a bunch of it down to some people you know down there. Please, okay? That's what it's for. Yes, last night Trump went lower than anybody thought he could.
Again.
Let's talk about
when
the cover.
You're digging a hole, all you're going to do is dig deeper, right?
Racist America is racist America, and we have a racist America. We have a racist NFL. We have an NFL with players that value their paychecks, understandably, over their values, or maybe their paycheck is their highest value. I don't know what else to say other than. And I put this statement out on Twitter as Bernie 2016 TV, which will be changing, by the way. Maybe today I'll get to it. We're going to change it over. It'll stay at Bernie 2016 TV, but we're going to put the Uphil logo on it and kind of change where it goes and all that stuff. And hopefully other people will be engaging in Twitter so that I'm not just the angry face of Uphil Media on Twitter. But I grew up in Denver, Colorado. I'm not really a fan of football today, and for a lot of reasons, but mainly just because it's a sport that glorifies violence, and I think we could do better than that. I'd love to glorify science some way. But anyway, I grew up a Broncos fan, and I will not be supporting any NFL teams or anything. I will be doing the opposite until I see that Colin Kaepernick is treated fairly and has a job. On the other hand, I just want to say this to Colin. CTE. You're smart. Why don't you just run for office? We'll put you in office. You'd be a shoo-in wherever you want to go, and you can save your brain cells. Forget the NFL. We may not be able to pay you as much as you could get on a team, but why damage your brain when you seem to be such a powerful statesman and a wonderful spokesman for the 99%? I would back you in a race wherever you wanted to run. I'd love to have you on this program to talk to you, Colin. Please just give up football You take a knee all you want, but let's save that beautiful brain and put you in office. There's my statement. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm not into American football, but what I know about Colin Kaepernick is that he seems to be a decent guy. And yes, the danger about football and brain cells, and it is proven. And if he is clever, if he's smart, what he seems to be, he should quit and do what he already is doing. He I think it was $100,000 he lately gave to 4 different organizations. I think one was for children, for underprivileged children, the other one for dreamers, and so on. And I think these are things which are already political, and why not doing the complete move?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And for me, the 49ers are my team that I grew up with, because I live in the Bay Area. And Kaepernick wasn't their best quarterback ever, but somebody pointed out on Twitter yesterday that he was the last one who threw a touchdown for the 49ers.
Yeah, statistically, there are already people that suck balls comparatively that are making millions.
Oh, yeah.
Like they've shown that it has nothing to do with his capabilities. He would have been picked up by a team easily if all he did was sit third string on a bench for the season. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should be starting, but he could have been a backup quarterback, a third string for anybody. It's just bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. But here's another thing. Let's go another route. I got 2 ways to go about this. The first way is to say, Colin, save your brain. Let's go into politics. You'd be phenomenal. The second way is to say, I will adamantly support the team that picks him up.
Ah.
And I think everybody out there should say that, you know what, I'll take a knee right now, but I'll stand up when I see the team that hires him, and I will become their biggest fucking fan. So the team out there that has the courage, the moral fortitude, that recognizes the racism, the team that's willing to stand up, they're going to get a fucking huge fan base. They're going to get an international fan base at this point.
Yeah.
They should think about that.
Yes, but I think there is a reason. I think all this was already included in the thoughts of the club managers, and but the fact that they didn't sign him, that nobody signed him, says to me something about the fears of those club managers that is not accepted by their audience. And this tells a lot about the audience of this sport. Not all, of course, but I think in many parts they have a very strange understanding of equal rights and democracy. I would put it like this.
It's called Christian selectivity, Mark.
Okay, whatever. We
rationalize the things that we need to because we don't really feel like actually doing what we're supposed to. That's how it goes. I call it a Christian mentality, but it's really because they championed it. 2,000 years of selective denial, rationalization. Torture is okay because you're not a Christian. Sex is okay because we're priests and we need it. Whatever it is, whatever it's been in the past. War with your enemies is okay because that's our holy land, right? Taking over another country because they're not Christian and converting their people or torturing them to death, that's just what we do. It's what good Christians do,
For their own good.
For their own good.
To save them.
Praying the gay away, denying science. I could go on. Anyway. Insult to the chimps. What is Eco's insulting? A male chimp in domination to take control. Oh, it is. Comparing Trump to any other animal is kind of an insult to that species. He's just
Although
an
I thought
abomination.
orangutan was a pretty good fit.
It is.
But again, with apologies to orangutans.
Yes. Very true. Did you see that there was there's a clear case of a football injury where it was CTE, the individual that died. I can't even think of his name.
Aaron Hernandez.
Thank you. And they just discovered a student. Same issue.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, this is bullshit. Kids will have. We are kids playing football, but the truth is, football is actually dropping in suburbia because of the violence. Because we have a different generation of parents these days, which I think everybody else would just call a little less violent. Right. My sister's a great example of that. Right. Our kids, their kids play baseball and soccer.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Two sports, which still, baseball, if you really want to just be asleep, but friggin' Miles loves the game, and Dad Kayleigh loves the frickin' game. He's just like my dad, likes to do the scores and all that shit. So they're into that, right? There's strategy and crap and a lot of time to talk in baseball. Soccer, that's what I played. That's the reason I don't have brain damage from sports. But soccer's a really, really good game, and keeps you in shape. And there's a lot of fun drama because they don't beat the fuck out of each other. That's what you get. So they have to be dramatic about things, Anyway, Marcus knows. And the best part about soccer is if you guys ever get a chance to go, probably anywhere else. I don't know what it's like in Germany when somebody scores, but I was down in Mexico watching a soccer game at a cantina, and holy shit, when the team they want to win scores, it's goal, and they just go on and on and on. It does not stop.
I can send you a video on Slack about our last promotion into the first league in Germany, and they can see the complete celebration.
Right. I'm sure it's pretty insane. I want to back up and just say thank you to a couple people. That I don't even know where it is now, but you guys were saying, Jim, I think you said you liked my Twitter rants. Thank you. I cross the line often, and I've been called out for it representing Bernie 2016 TV. So I'm going to be thrilled to change that to Uphil Media soon. And I don't even remember where we were. Oh, Eco. So you are going to come up. Wonderful. Great. Just shoot me an email, or shoot an email at info@uphillmedia.org so we know, so we can plan it and figure it out. Or, you should join our Slack. Are you on our Slack? You should join the Slack.
Is Eco in Slack? I think he is.
I don't know.
If not, he should be. Damn it.
We're
You guys who ask about Slack, let me just say something about Slack. It's like being able, how you come here and you want to hang out with all these people, and this is your chance. Well, Slack has got a lot of these people in there, and we are talking all the time, like we're talking in chat now.
Right.
So if that doesn't incent you, Chili, to come and join behind the scenes, so that you kind of know what's going on. Like if a show's not going on, you'll know why. We're talking about it, in Slack. So anyway,
right, Slack's the conversation continued, right?
Yeah.
And it's also the first step to volunteering, because, or doing anything within the org, because if you can join Slack, you can communicate with us, and then we can get you trained on things, or we can find out what talents you have if you're interested in donating time to anything, right?
And anybody who's here in chat every single time we have a broadcast has time to be in freaking Slack.
Only if you want to, guys. Only if you want to. This organization is only grown with you. That's you know what, I'm still. But
not having a wake every morning. Could be a way that we could compensate for the withdrawal.
Well, that's true. And just so you know, most of the other organizations run a Slack, so that we can all be on one platform to communicate with each other when we need to. And a lot of us are interconnected. And, on that note, still waiting for our revolution to come back to us. But I decided that it really doesn't matter. Iowa, I need their help. But I don't need their help to do Oregon. We've got Oregon going with the Larry Taylor, Progressive Oregon with Larry Taylor show, which is great. If you didn't see the last episode, go watch it. Because he talks about Robert's Rules of Order. And he talks about why we need to understand them and what we can do with them. It's how you control a meeting. And it's how you make sure a corporate Dem or a corrupt Dem party that may be in power at the meeting can't use trickery within the meeting structure, parliamentary procedure, to end it or to go around voting on something or to just fuck us, right? And so Larry Taylor spent the time to go become credentialed and learn details about the rules. And there's we all need to learn and understand basics if we're going to be at meetings. Because if they call some bullshit thing, you can go, no, fuck you. You don't get to do that. And I actually have the rules here, and we're going to actually do this right. Right? It's our way of taking back the power from all these corporate fucks that have ruined our democracy. We have to start by knowing the rules of the meetings and enforcing the rules of the meetings. Roberta's rules, that's what happened there, right? She did not follow parliamentary procedure, but nobody knew how to call her on it, and so they just walked away. Although I'm not sure calling her on it would have worked because they were kind of all over the place. But anyway, what was I going to say? So what I plan on doing is you guys remember Gail McLaughlin? Mm-hmm. What we plan on doing is I want to there are two shows that this network's going to focus on, primarily as the non-profit organization that is Uphil Media, and that is We the Peoples and We the Peeps. We're going to expand We the Peeps state by state. All right. Right now, I guess we function as the national We the People, but I can't interview 4,000 people, right, or however many damn people we need to replace in government. It's just not going to happen. By the time I get through too many, it's going to be like, and you're running for. We can't have that. So we need other people that are more excited in other places. So I want to get We the People started in California. I want to reach out to Gail. I want to see, she's got like 12 OR groups that are backing her. I want to see if we can't pull some resources, bring some people in, get them trained, start a We the People for California so they can cover all of their people, and get them going on a progressive California with Gail McLaughlin, or progressive California with Our Revolution California, or whatever the hell they want to call it. We get those two shows going for every state we can. I don't need Our Revolution National's help for a state like California or a state like Oregon. I do need their help for a state like Iowa, because Iowa is behind enemy lines and Iowa is lacking in resources in general in terms of progressive movement. So that's one of the things we're going to do. We're also going to do, I told you about this, the show on restorative justice, working on that. But all of these series and things that we've got in mind to kind of up the game and move things forward involve people who want to come join, get trained, and lend their time and skills to content, providing content for these shows, or production, or involved with media assets, or working with Laura on social media. We're looking for a special ops team that wants to focus on social media. But it will require being trained. It will require knowing what we want to do, learning a process, working with us, and volunteering your time, and then showing up for that. So, but we'd love to have anybody who's welcome to who wants to come be a part of that. And the eventual goal is that as we grow, as we do business, both as the nonprofit and the for-profit, which will be doing business that way to put funds into the nonprofit. Right, we will be hiring people, paying people to do things, right? I mean, we've got a long way to go before we get core individuals compensated for whatever, but people that stay in the organization as volunteers are going to be the first people that can become whatever it may be, compensated hourly, compensated as a contract worker, which will probably be the first step. So I've said these words before. I remember saying these words about 2 years ago. But right now it seems like it's happening because people are investing their time and their money and their effort into making it happen. And this is that's so. And why are we doing all this? We're doing all this because I don't see anybody else doing it. Right?
That's it.
I just want to explain that. I'm not, if I was like, oh, I want to be TYT and report the news and do what I don't want to do what TYT does, and I don't want to do what Democracy Now! Does. We have plenty of TYTs and Democracy Nows and those people. What we need are organizations like ours with technology that's willing to lend the effort and the time into helping the individual candidates within our states win.
Yeah.
And a portion of that can be done with interviews, but a lot more of it's going to be done by helping the local organizations organize and promote themselves and grow their own media networks. And that's really what we're focused on. All right. So, all right. That was a long blah, blah, blah speech. This is some news. I actually do have some news I want to talk about. Ordinary life in Puerto Rico is also trending on Twitter. And the reason is because it's gone. Puerto Rico is a disaster. A humanitarian crisis. It's one of our territories. Still don't understand all of that. Whatever. The whole place has no power. The whole place has no fresh water. There's no food. Everything's got to come in via ships. And because of the dumbass rules, all the ships have to go through a U.S. port, which means it's going to take them weeks to get in and do all their crap. So it's just really dumb. And all of Puerto Rico probably could have been avoided to this extent had we actually prepared for climate change. Like the scientists predicted that our storms would be maybe a few less, but they'll be a hell of a lot more catastrophic. So, anyway, I just, if you're seeing the stories coming out about Puerto Rico and what's going on, the death toll is going to go up. We're looking at a national embarrassment, a horrific event. And we're not done. Florida and Texas and those areas they're going to suffer similar fates as more and more of these places get annihilated. The Keys apparently smell gross, right, Jupiter? It's, yeah.
But I imagine Florida and Texas are getting a lot more attention and care than Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands, which is people saying, hey, don't forget us over here. We're also U.S. territory, and they got hit just as bad.
Yeah. Hey, Michelle Rowe, I'd love to have, just to sideline for a second, I'd love to have Howie Klein from Blue America on the show. I just feel like we're not, we're small. We're not, we're tiny. Small, but reach out.
And we're focusing on people that aren't going to be able to get on anywhere else. It's like, it'd be great if we could get some big famous people, but they don't need help getting airwaves. Right. We want the people that this may be their first time doing a TV interview.
That's exactly right.
And so we get them started and we meet them. And that's for me, the best part of We the People is all of these candidates that we are meeting. Our viewers are probably some of the most well-versed people in the right now about the new progressive movement, because we bring them from all over the country. So
they
I
are
think
those. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think that's cool.
Yeah,
they are exactly those Bernie addressed when he said, "It is not me, it is you," and exactly those are the people we are curious on, and we want to hear them.
Exactly. Just a quick sideline looking at the chat. Hey, Roy Baker shouting about ayuva.com. Why don't you give us a explanation of what it is?
And don't just spam the chat, as I just mentioned.
Yes, thanks. I don't, tell us what it is, and maybe we'll consider it. You maybe come on and talk about it if you want. Depends on what it is, though. We really need to just know. Context is so important. Prepare to be very pleasantly surprised. Well, now you're just teasing me, Roy. Jeez, I get enough of that already, man. Teased with a Congress that claims they're going to do things for the people. Teased by representatives that say they're going to do things for me. Teased by a government that says it's always doing things for my fucking protection.
Yeah.
Man, if the government was sex protection, I'd be wearing like 50,000 fucking condoms. I'd be a goddamn condom. So much protection we have. Jesus Christ.
Then those are the princes in Nambia, that always want to give us money.
Yes. Oh, I saw the Greatest New Yorker headline that said Sarah Palin was be the ambassador to Nambia.
You can see it from her backyard, right?
Perfect for her. Yeah.
Nambia, yeah.
I don't know what other stories I had. I did have other stories. Very disjointed today, but I want to show you some of the things. So yeah, Trump was an asshole with his statements about the NFL and calling anybody that takes a knee a son of a bitch, like he's some kind of sounds right out of a goddamn Klan history book. It's just,
what do you say? Get that son of a bitch off the field or something like
that. Tell the
NFL
owners should get those sons of bitches or fire those sons of bitches. It's disgusting. What it was is disgusting, and I told him I'd like it. What, Marcus?
And he already gets the echo from the players. One called him a bum, another one called him asshole, and
we have a theme.
The thing is, they are right.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, as we were talking about before the show, to have him be this vehement about football, it's like, where was that vehemence about Charlottesville?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where is the passion about Puerto Rico, or the empathy about Mexico? Any of a number of things that he could do that'd be much more presidential than calling football players bums.
Where was his get the bastards off the streets? Exactly. Yeah.
Very good point. I mean, it's he's not right. And I said some threatening things on the Twitter. I'm getting worse with that to him. I like visualize physical harm to the President of the United States. So I just want to state that because it's my freedom to be able to do that. I can visualize whatever the fuck I want. Just want to make that clear, right? Just like it's my freedom to protest peacefully, my freedom to take a knee, my freedom to visualize taking that knee and slamming Trump's head into it repeatedly, right? I can do all of that. That's freedom, right? And you can say, well, that's violence. It doesn't solve anything. And I'd say, I don't view Trump any different than Hitler. And if Trump were left unchecked, I think he would do just as much damage. You tell me, was violence appropriate for Hitler? Yes, it was. So STFU on to my visualization of what I get to do to 40 fucking 5. All right? That's all I'm going to say. Take a knee. That's why it's here. And we've got 2 ways to fight that. We just talked about it. Pick one or the other. Say I'll become a fan of the first team, or I'm not going to patronize the NFL, even though I know my dad watches football. There's so many friends and family watch. Everybody watches football, right? Not that hard to turn it off. NFL is already feeling the pressure. NFL is already seeing the loss of revenue. And that is where the NFL finds its conscience, at the bottom of its wallet. So that's how we affect all corporations, because they're basically psychopaths. Mm-hmm. And I told you, but I just wanted to show you the story. Here's NFL Players Union names. Colin Kaepernick, it's week 1 MVP for his charity work, and it lists a shit ton of his charity work. And the guy, honestly, I don't know how much money he's made so far, but I hope he's got some left because he's been dumping it insanely into charities. So, good for him. Save that brain, Colin. Here's so this is something I just wanted to talk about. David Sirota with he writes for a lot of places, but IB Times, International Business Times.
I like him.
Yeah, he did a report basically covering where it says map light report, but let me explain what this is. That Senator Udall is a Republican senator who's all pissed off about this and wants to look into this pay to play. What does that mean? So basically what happens is instead of big businesses handing massive chunks of money over to the governor of whatever state this is, I think it's New Mexico. The governor's a woman, Governor Susana Martinez, Republican governor, Senator Martinez. What's happened here is that through the places that the state has people that invest its money, right? Pension funds and money into other things. People's tax dollars are supposed to be invested in this, that, and the other. And where they invest that money is important. So businesses can't just donate a giant chunk of money to the governor and say, here's $4 million, please do what we say in government. It has to go around some places, get laundered. And what IB Times uncovered was the laundering. Oh, well, we gave the money over here, which influenced these people, basically the people that decide where the investments go. And then the investments all of a sudden show up for these people that gave the money to the people that decide where the investments go. Oh, my goodness. That's basically capitalism for government when it's supposed to be representative government. And the only thing it represents is the businesses that were able to put millions of dollars into these fucking people's pockets. Now we have Republicans calling it out. Interesting times we live in, don't you think?
Yeah. Very interesting, maybe too interesting.
Name me one corporate, Dem or GOP, whatever, that isn't on the take from somebody. It's the same game. You know. But Citizens United, the truth is Citizens United undid a number of the regulations allowing this money to flow. So even though, ending Citizens United isn't going to stop our problems, but it definitely created more problems. Yeah. Right. That's what sucks. No question. Yes. And there was another, 6.2. There were 2 more, Julie Love, in Mexico, earthquakes.
Yeah, there was the 6.1 was a aftershock of the one that was farther south.
Wow.
And I think then there was one in Mexico. Yeah, poor Mexico. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're not doing anything. I'm sorry, Mexico. Our government is just full of a bunch of assholes.
And they
Really?
were the first. They were the first to offer money after Harvey. They were gonna,
Yeah.
and I think they're gonna keep it now because they need it.
They
But-
sent a lot of people
And they sent
send
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
to help. And
Yeah.
there's nobody. There is no one from America on the way to Mexico to help them in return.
No.
Of course not.
No, because we're
It's on an individual level. It's people with connections.
Mm-hmm.
It's in smaller groups and like that. But
Yes,
not
privately organized. No. I mean by government. This
Oh,
is
wouldn't think so.
No.
They've got their hands full at this point.
yeah.
no.
Any more hurricanes coming?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I haven't seen the map yet.
I'll let you know later because I do watch the Weather Channel now all the time.
Yes,
It's
I
the
know.
most
That's
exciting
why I
stuff
ask you.
on.
I know you've got it on all the time.
And I've learned so many new terms, and we understand why when you look at what we've done to our jet stream across North America and you look at what hurricanes are doing, it makes a lot of sense. We've created a lot more warm water and things are warmer, and warm water makes big, ugly, bad hurricanes. So I'm excited. Not excited for all the people whose lives are being drastically affected. And I really actually do. I wake up every day and I just think, when is my life going to be, impacted by climate change to the point where I am in a survival mode? I'm just waiting. I'm just ticking down the time. I don't think we're going to make it. I think all the way up here in safe Oregon, we're going to be either without food or breathable air or something. Something's going to happen here because it's on a collision course of disaster. So I'm just waiting. And then I'm watching my kid James. He plays a lot. He plays this game which is really crazy. It's a total it's not it's like a zombie game, right? Post-apocalyptic games have become really popular where he runs around killing all the zombies and everything. I'm just waiting for that. Honestly, and then counting on people who play these games to keep me alive while I make jam. Seriously. Anyway, moving on to something maybe slightly less serious is this. Marcus grabbed this, and I thought this was fucking hilarious. Sorry, let me zoom in, everybody, so you can see this. You see that picture? This is the king of Saudi Arabia at the time signing. What documents was it? There.
It was the foundation of the United Nations.
Thank you. Okay. That's Yoda there next to him. Marcus, you want to tell the story?
Well, the story is that the Saudi Arabian government cannot explain what happened. They looked into the books when they were printed. I don't know how many thousand they printed, and they noticed there's Yoda in the picture, in the photo, and they found out who did this, and it was several years ago already. I don't know. And he put it in the internet, and someone during the research, grabbed this photo and put it in this official book, and in this textbook. And I'm very happy that my research team or our research team at Uphil is doing a better job,
Yes, very funny, and do you think? I just want to know. I don't believe for a minute that the researcher, whoever was putting that together, didn't see Yoda in the picture. I just don't.
I don't know, John, because I don't know what a draconian punishment could emerge from this in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, you think the guy's gonna lose his head or something?
I don't know, but I think the sense of humor is not that big in Saudi Arabia.
No, but it's probably like I was waiting for them to go. He's showing it to the other, getting a cross check. He's like, "That's Yoda in the picture." I know. The king was friends with Yoda. Did you not know this? I mean, it's of course it is. Yoda was
Yoda signed too. He will.
Right. The United Federation of Planets, or whatever they're called, the Rebel Alliance. They were part of this. Okay. But I mean, it just opens up more questions. Do they even know who Yoda is? Like, I want to know, do you think the people of Saudi Arabia know who the fuck Yoda is? Do they watch Star Wars? Is it even allowed to watch Star Wars over there? I don't know.
That's the question. But I think Saudi Arabia is not an isolated state what internet connections concern. You know, I
don't know.
I can't imagine. I never heard about this. I think they have the same access to media and popular stuff like anyone else. You know? Maybe a few sites are blocked for religious purposes, etc. But I think mainly they should have access to this.
Oh, okay. But here's, I guess, all right, cool. So maybe they know Star Wars, but that's it. Assume they know Star Wars. They know who Yoda is. The guy made one of these two choices. He either said, that's a person who's very ugly next to the king, but he looks esteemed, so I will use the picture. Or he said, that's Yoda. I'm going to put it in. Right? I mean...
Or Yoda said, this is the photo you are looking for.
Right?
Very good.
The original creator of the work was somebody, just an artist who did it for fun. He apparently did a lot of other pictures showing famous Saudi Arabian people from history with I don't know if it was all Star Wars characters. I can't remember. But that's a fucking cool idea. I like that. Just sneaking them in there, right?
Cool. Where's Waldo?
I hope nobody
Yoda?
Dies for this.
Yeah. Ellis said, did anybody lose their head? And it's like, quite possibly.
Yeah, I hope not. Anonymous, the group. Do you think they had something to do with it?
Anonymous CGI hack is what...
And listen, yeah, this doesn't change the fact that I don't think Saudi Arabia is good people, good government.
Yeah.
The people may be whatever, but the government is a pile of shit and in cahoots with us and all of the evil shit that we do. So I don't, I just thought that was nice. This is the photo you seek, says Babs. Yes. Where is the Uphil email?
I'll type it. I will type it again.
Guys, everybody give it up.
Can we put it in the description?
Yes, somebody should go in and edit the description on YouTube. It'd be amazing if there was somebody that had the time to manage the YouTube channel. Gosh, I'd love. Who wants to be trained to? Who likes managing YouTube? I need a volunteer because I can't do it anymore. I'm still changing out the hashtags manually every event. Getting rid of old shit. Bernie 2016. Well,
down in the cut and paste that goes in every time. So anyway, we'll have that done.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of little stuff need to be done. I'm trying.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
Anyway, at least you know what the difference is right now. I don't feel like we've got these great pictures that Steph drew for us. It looked like an old World War II bomber plane with a bunch of guys working on it with jackhammers and stuff. It's one of my favorite pics from the newsroom. I don't feel like that anymore. I don't feel like we're flying and rebuilding. I feel like we've settled our big ship, and now we're in the process of rebuilding in a dry dock. That's or dock. That's how I feel like we are right now. Anyway, and it's because of you guys. So thank you. What else do I have here? I'm not gonna run it, but there's a link in the rundown to a really good video by the Young Turks, Hassan Piker, who is one of my favorite ranters at this point because I think he does a really good balance between being angry and being coherent. I don't. So Hassan, riot police chant, whose streets, our streets. Remember when we talked about that? The fucking assholes. So they've got a really good video in here where they stop and highlight just all the assholery of the St. Louis police. And the riots are still going on, and quite frankly, more power to them. And every fucking badge on that police force should hang their heads in shame. And I'm just going to stop right there. Watch the video because Hassan does a great job of ranting where I am not going to do that right now.
I just dropped a link into the chat.
Thank you. The links are in the description. And moving on to something even more. Check this out. It's more about Colin Kaepernick. He's Whiter Than You Know. The national anthem is a celebration of slavery. I honestly did not know this. And I'm going to try to get it right. But where is it here? The story. I'm just going to read this shit. Where I got to find the right line. Dang it. Okay. The Star-Spangled Banner, Americans Hazily Remember, was written by Francis Scott Key about the Battle of Fort McHenry in Baltimore during the War of 1812. Okay, a lot of Americans think it was written during the Revolution. Some Americans think it was written during the Civil War. It was written during one of those wars in between things that not a lot of people talk about, the War of 1812. There's a nice symphony around it, the 1812 Overture. It's really cool. And we used to listen to that. We used to go to the foothills in Colorado when we were kids, and they would do that, and they would actually bring out big cannons and do the cannon part. It was all neato. That was like a big patriotic celebrational thing to do. Anyway, the War of 1812, where the White House actually got lit on fire, and we got our asses kicked pretty much by the British. That's why we don't talk about this war. So we don't ever talk about how the War of 1812 was a war of aggression that began with an attempt by the U.S. to grab Canada from the British Empire. That's what it was about. It wasn't about freedom. It was about, hey, there's some resources up there. We already don't like the British. Fuck them. That was America in 1812. Right after we just finished the War of 17, becoming a country. We're right back into war. Right? We're having fun with the Native Americans, but why not go to war with Canada? Which I don't think was Canada at the time. It was just the British territory. So, however, we'd wildly overestimated the strength of the U.S. military. By the time the Battle of Fort McHenry in 1814, the British had counterattacked and overrun Washington, D.C., setting fire to the White House. And one of the key tactics behind the British military success was its active recruitment of American slaves. Okay. So this doesn't mean that the British didn't have slaves. It's just they recruited the American ones. And let's keep that in mind. All right. The British were busy selling opium to the Chinese at this time as well. Anyway, so as a detailed 2014 article in Harper's Explanations, the orders given to the Royal Navy's Admiral Sir George Cockburn read, "Let the landings you make be more for the protection of the desertion of black population than with the view to any other advantage. The great point to be attained is the cordial support of the black population. With them properly armed and backed with 20,000 British troops, Mr. Madison will be hurled from his throne." Interesting that they're already talking about James Madison on a throne. All right. So, with that in mind, think again about so when Scott penned, I'm sorry, back up. I'm doing a terrible job at this. On the night of September 13th, 1814, the British bombarded Fort McHenry. Key, seeing the fort's flag the next morning, was inspired to write the lyrics for the Star-Spangled Banner. So when Key penned, "No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave," he was taking great satisfaction in the death of slaves who'd freed themselves, because they were the slaves that bombarded the fort. Nothing else needs to be said there. That is definitely not the history that I learned growing up in America. Absolutely fucking not. I actually remember the history book because it had the same picture in it that was some famous painting. And it's basically Francis Scott Key on a boat, notebook in hand, looking out at the destruction and everything on fire, and us kids were told that's us winning our freedom as Americans, and that's where the Star-Spangled Banner came from. That's the story I was given, loosely. I'm not even sure the War of 1812 was included in my version as a kid. It's just America was at war. Francis Scott Key was inspired, and we have the national anthem. Everybody stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah. Anyway, I did not know that. I'm 47. Did not know that. You guys probably learned that in grade school about our anthem, Marcus.
About your anthem?
Yes.
About our anthem?
Both. I don't know.
It was new to me also, you know.
No.
And yeah, it is sad to see that it is not correctly taught in schools, you know.
Yes, it is. It is. Laura Livengood, when did you know that? You seem to have known already. Damn.
Oh, no, actually I didn't. That's been something that's been coming up lately when they were talking about the verse that talks about slavery. And it was like, oh. So no, that wasn't something I was aware of.
Wow. Thank you, Internet. Thank you, Intercept, because the Intercept is they've been putting out a lot of good stuff lately. And if you don't support them, they're one of the entities you should. I look over.
Outside America the Beautiful should be our national anthem. It's so much easier to sing.
Yeah.
The Waves of Grain,
Yeah.
stuff like
why
that.
not? I'm sure there's something in there that's racist too. Who knows? Anyway.
Well, they do mention God. They do mention God. God shed His grace on thee, so that it is.
Right.
So. Yeah.
John would prefer James Brown, huh? Living in America.
I would actually. That would be a more accurate telling. That would be a great. Everybody stand up and sing our national anthem. Hi. Get up. Living in America. You see the kids dancing in the schools, right? They get done, they sit down. I mean, that would be a great way to start your day. Great way to start a football game, right?
Yeah.
Watch all these singers that would have to get up there and sing that. Pavarotti, living in America. I mean, you could have all sorts of versions of it.
No, it should be this version, because nobody would bow his knee, because they all would be on their feet to dance.
Well, yeah, you could do a splits at the end. That would be. Brown got down on one knee, but it was part of his stage performance. That's hilarious. Anyway, we're gonna watch this because it just makes you feel good inside. Nancy Pelosi meets angry constituents.
If you do not want to listen, if you do not... I've never asked. To the federal parents. And now you tell us. You have the audacity. To tell us. You have been fighting deportation. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You do not. You don't know what you're talking about. You are not helping the cause that we want to take this first stage today. Well, do you not want to listen? Why don't we do this? Since you don't want to listen, we'll have to just go. You don't want to listen.
Yes.
There's more.
Please go.
But wait, there's more.
Okay, you cut off the dreamers who are here to speak.
That's how you talk to a rep that won't listen. Nancy Pelosi, we're going to fire your ass. And we're going to put somebody else in your place. Because you have done nothing for us. And you continue to live in your own fucking world. It's time for you to shut the fuck up and listen to the people. We don't want to hear what you have to say. We tell you what we want done. That's how this works, Nancy. And somebody asked earlier how much it was going to cost. Michael Stapleton, I think it was you, was asking what Stephen Jaffe's chances are. I don't know. Stephen Jaffe's chances are he needs a lot more money right now. He's got a good name on social media. He's spreading the message. He's been getting some airtime in other places. But he's fighting a giant monster. And he needs all of our help, right? I mean, I want to see Jaffe win. I want to see him take it all the way. But even if he doesn't, you've got to understand that all the pressure he can put on Nancy is part of our working of democracy. So if we can get Nancy to bend over and do what we want, then that's what we need done. We get Nancy to shut up and do what we want her to do on the progressive movement because she knows she's going to lose her job, that's Stephen Jaffe, win or lose, is a catalyst for that pressure.
Yeah.
And so we have to support him as that catalyst, right? And everybody else that's taken the time and effort to run against these big oligarchs, we have to support them every way we can. The David Hildebrands, doesn't matter who they are, running against whoever they are, right? Kathy Myers running for lieutenant governor, or not Kathy Myers, Gail McLaughlin running for lieutenant governor of California. She's up against at least 4 people that have gazillions of fucking dollars, all with big smiles, and right. We need her to push them to progressive left. You know, I'd love to see her win too, but it doesn't matter. The goal is to push, right? And it takes money to push. It takes us. Right? That right there, that effort, those people showing up there, you better believe Nancy's shaking.
Oh, yeah.
She came out of that, right?
I just put in chat, I said, I'm sure her establishment base, the people around her that she surrounds herself with, were just horrified at how she was treated. And did you see how horrible those people were to their elected official and how terrible it is, and assuring her that she was the one abused.
Oh, yeah. Democracy isn't nice and clean and cordial. Sorry, guys. The establishment government wants to have this facade that America is all cordial and parliamentary procedure while they slaughter children around the world for their greed. So when anybody complains about, oh, that's not politically correct, or you said fuck, or how dare you call out that person's integrity, it's like, you know what? We murder people every fucking day. Words that come out my mouth have nothing in comparison, right? Yeah. Nancy can take it, and if she can't take it, she needs to fucking get out of politics. If you're thin-skinned, you shouldn't be anywhere near our fucking government, because the reality is we live in a very harsh world, right? It's a very harsh. This is my favorite line from Downton Abbey ever. How's that for a fucking reference? It was the now I'm not even gonna remember the names, but the main guy, the Lord guy of Downton Abbey, was talking to the guy who was a regular. He was a driver. He was a car driver, right? He wasn't part of the royal class. He was a car driver. They lived in 2 very separate worlds, and he, I can't remember his name, but he fell in love with Sybil, who was of the royal class. Now it was a whole thing, right? But Mr. Lord of Downton Abbey looks at car driver and says, you know, it's a harsh world you live in. And he looks at me and goes, it's a harsh world for everybody. Some people just aren't aware. You know, some people just, nope, I don't have to. I'm so rich. I don't have to even look at your fucking harsh world. I don't have to look at Puerto Rico. I don't have to look at New Orleans after Katrina. I don't have to look at any of this shit because I am so up and above. And that's what Nancy Pelosi is. Completely disconnected from us.
That's what I was thinking this morning, is that what we are seeing now, we're seeing that it's business as usual. It's the way the establishment has always run. But now everybody can see. There are cameras everywhere. They can't hide anymore from their doublespeak because it's all recorded and, you know, forever remembered. And it's just all going to come crumbling down, especially for the older ones who do not know how to be nimble and work the system that they have found themselves in.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Where are we at? Holy shit, we're kind of almost on time. It's really weird. Did this right today. I gotta look at, make sure I covered everything. We got this really good piece. It's 3-4 minutes, no longer than that. A good comedy piece on climate, satire, strong satire. Germans would be proud. So, good stuff. We're gonna run that. I got. What deal has Pelosi make with Trump, says Soul Rebel? Does anyone know exactly? No, there is no deal.
No, they're all the same. It's all the establishment party. It doesn't. It's like they're all agreed on what lines they're going to vote, and they have corporate owners that that direct that. It's the 2-party system is such a myth at that level. It is,
but like her and Schumer had claimed to be working some deals, and that didn't go well for them because there were no deals, really. you know.
Yes, but it make them look in public so far that they are Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. They are the guys who get along with Trump, you know. And I think they wanted to use this by telling there's a deal inside or already made, yeah, to show we are here and we have a purpose, you know. Maybe I don't know.
Yes, it's yeah. Look, I'm reading you guys this conversation over here, right, Laura? Pelosi acts like a Republican. She listens to the people that donate the big chunks of change. That's who she listens to.
1%. Yeah, there's an enclave in San Francisco area that is bolstering her up, but they're going to need to cheat because Jaffe is walking the streets and meeting people and engaging with people every day. And he only has to win San Francisco. It's not like he has to win the state of California. It's one district, the city of San Francisco, where he lives and works every day. And he's got a year. So money or not, I think that he has a chance.
Right. Yeah.
He's being supported all over the country, not just in San Francisco. So the money will come from a lot of places to help him win a small district. Which is interesting. This is the first time I've seen that kind of thing in an election where you've got people taking such interest in elections in other states besides their own because they are so focused on getting rid of the establishment tools that hold those chairs.
It's an awake American democracy with the tools to do that, right? That's the other thing is that they actually have the tools now to crowdfund candidates, which is what scares the fuck out of the establishment. Right?
Yes.
They did not expect us to raise as much money as we did for Bernie Sanders at all, which is why they were really interested in the email base. Right? Like, oh my God, look at that. Look at how much money you sucked out of the 99%. We can't get that out of fucking Soros. Holy shit. You know?
And they didn't realize that the list had no purpose for them, you know? It has only purpose in the hands of Bernie.
Right.
Yeah. They can send us all the emails they want.
Yes.
Spam.
Yes. Yeah.
The DCC keeps sending me shit. Right?
Yeah.
They sent me a resistance sticker and said, you know, what would you like the DCC to fix? And most of it was just crap that none of it said elect Bernie. So I didn't, fuck you. You know, they don't get my money.
Did you tell them that you are already resisting against the DNC?
Yes, resisting them.
Yeah. Way ahead of you, dudes.
Yeah. Oh, so what do I got left here? I'm just checking to make sure I covered everything. We're gonna watch that piece. We got Peter, Paul, and Mary to run. It's 11:45. It's wonderful. This is the first awake in a long time where I didn't begrudgingly put it together. So thank you guys for letting me get to that point. I'm so burned out on organizing the show every morning. But that's only because I want to do these other things, right? There's so many other things we're working on that are happening and getting them put together and getting the Sims and having the solo back in action, doing the People's Summit, which now is back on this November, if we can get all those pieces together, right? It's just this is what we need to do. I kept wondering, I just want to take us back a year. My big butt hurt because I'm a human being and I get butt hurt sometimes too, just like Hillary does. The difference is I don't write a fucking book about it and keep whining. I get over it. But my butt hurt last year was over how come nobody wants to come rescue us? That was my thing. I was like, how come we haven't found another organization yet? I mean, look at what we've done and how come we can't partner with anybody? What are we, some like untouchable piece of shit over here? And I really started to question my own actions within the volunteer group because I was like, shit, it could just be that I'm so brash and harsh and I say a lot of fuck words. Nobody wants to, and so we need to change the image and something needs to be done here. Right? And I marinated about that. We've marinated about that for a long time and all this stuff happened, personal life. And here we are with a whole new group of people. Not new. Some of them are older, newer. We got it's rebuilt now. We have this big crew, right? And I just want to point out to everybody, this was also a ghost ship a year ago.
Yes.
There was Laura, a couple other people. Yeah, Marcus showed up late. It was people that went, oh shit, it's empty. I should go help. No different than the Democratic Party. No different than our government in whole. And if we can rebuild this, we can certainly rebuild the government. It's got a much better structure in place already. and it knows how to do business. It's got money, So, anyway, we're going to run this piece.
Way.
What? Yeah, we have come a long way.
We've come a long way since the slideshow that we started a year ago.
Right, because that was it. It was the slideshow a year ago.
Yeah. Like, what do we do? Oh, well, let's just do a slideshow. What do we call it? Well, let's call it the slideshow.
The slideshow
Here's
was...
a logo. We've got a show.
Yeah, and the purpose of that show was to test the process.
Yeah.
Really, it was to test the process
and to get us get us up to the election, in a way that we could get together.
Yes, to fill space, just like Awake is now filling space. Yeah. But now it's the Saturday show that can be relaxed, because I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot more rallies and events as we head into the primaries, and they will land on Saturday, right? So we'll end up, running from this into an event and doing our rally stuff and all that stuff. So thank you. Yeah, you've been here a long time. And listen, a lot of you have. Like, I can't remember. I can't keep track of who all has been here since when. There's so many people in the audience and people that come back. Like, hey, I didn't even know you were on a new channel. Great to find you again, right? Because that's because I've done a terrible job of telling everybody where we're going, right? Again, social media ops. If you're in Slack or want to join Slack and you're interested in doing that, need a social media special ops team, Laura Live and Good will be commanding that team of... social media overlord. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And if you want to do content, work on specific shows, and even get picked to work on specific piece work, scripting work with me or other individuals for bigger stuff, start with the content team with Marcus.
These little content teams are great, because pairing people up will really gives them some support and a feeling like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You have someone to do it with.
Yes, this was exactly the thought behind. And yes, everyone who is interested to join us, I only can invite you to do this, to contact us by email and to come to Slack and and to learn all the stuff we are doing here. And,
Yes, thank you. And Melissa, just to be clear, I know you're talking to Laura Live and Good now, but we need to just get you into Slack if you're not already. I think you are, and have a scheduled hangout discussion about talking to the gentleman whose name I can't remember. Doug Grant. Yes.
Doug Grant.
And we'll make it happen. Get out of here, flies. We'll make it happen. I promise. And I'm glad you guys are talking about that. I can't wait to show you the promo, because it actually has a lot of scenes and pictures from past Bernie TV events. And I'm working on getting some other ones for Ash. So I'm excited about that. And the same, that is also going to be a promo for us, but we're going to change out the script and do some other stuff. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. Revolting humor, facilitate revolutions. Chili love, nice. Yes, that's why the F words are here. Let's watch this piece on climate, because it's funny. And what it's really about is MSM actually engaging and talking about climate change, which they don't, right? It's very rarely mentioned at all. And I hold MSM equally responsible with Exxon for the condition of our planet right now. And the only way we can actually hold them accountable is if we take over a fucking government and enforce laws that bring them to their knees. I want to see that happen. I want to see Fox News forced to tell the fucking truth. Forced. Because imagine what happens when the Fox News viewership becomes educated. All that passion driven towards something intelligent. It'll be a day.
There's a new C word in news media. Harvey, Irma, Jose, wildfires that don't get people names, but if you ask me, that's a DeVos. With all these natural disasters increasing in frequency and severity, is the media finally ready to use the C word? It feels a bit like the end of days, doesn't it? It's as if after Trump picked a climate change denying non-scientist to head NASA, Mother Nature was all, listen, I'm just gonna shake the world like an Etch-a-Sketch and start over. After this month, we now know what happens when up to 50 inches of rain falls on Texas, and the most powerful hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic reaches landfall. And we also know what the news media tends to do for ratings, throws its reporters into what seems like some bizarre Japanese game show called Weathermen vs. Wild.
Viewers at home, as you're watching, Mike is bracing literally. These strong winds are not letting up.
We are on the fifth floor of a hotel. Down.
But it is quickly going to turn from a wind and structural story to this flooding story. Here comes another gust.
Oh, Ed, you lose. If you had just held on a little longer, you might have caught the Emmy that we threw into the wind, or it would have hit you in the head. But beyond endangering reporters, how has the media been covering the hurricanes, especially when it comes to what's been causing their unusual intensity? Some, like the BBC, Democracy Now!, and Al Jazeera, did discuss how warmer oceans and sea level rise make hurricanes and storm surges worse. But other outlets have struggled to have that conversation, like this Virginia Fox affiliate in one of the most painful interactions ever broadcasted.
I've heard the climate change theory bantered about.
Yeah, that's not something you want to wade into. It's very complicated.
Just a theory that I heard.
Well, no, I've been reading articles about it.
Climate change, don't talk about it. Okay.
Well, we can talk about it, just not now.
Ooh, someone's been left out of the Exxon bribes. And as awkward as that interaction was, it was an improvement from Fox's usual take on climate change on full display just a couple of months ago.
A new scientific report says the Earth's 6th mass extinction event is already well underway. So let's take a look at the massive devastation currently taking place across the country. Oh, the humanity. How will we ever rebuild? The apes will soon rule the Earth. Wait, hang on. Things are actually fine. We're all fine.
We're all fine? Fox News anchors have literally become the dog engulfed in flames meme. Also, are we fine? Why don't we check in with those same cameras right now? This is fine. This is fine. But it makes sense that Fox is skittish about the C word given that it takes its cues from the Doomsday Whisperer, who as of this taping has had at least one of his mansions damaged by these hurricanes, which means we're just 3 Trump mansion destructions away from the administration having its first serious discussion about building floating mansions. Trump officials have been unified in their message that the real danger of climate change is talking about it. We heard it from We Should Get Rid of Energy Secretary, I get to be Energy Secretary, Rick Perry, when asked about it pointedly.
Do you think Harvey will make the White House consider doing more on climate change, on warming seas, like in the Gulf of Mexico?
This is not the time to be having that conversation if you want to know the truth of the matter. I'm focused on search and rescue.
And also from the head of dismantling the Environmental Protection Agency, Scott Pruitt.
I find it striking in the midst of a storm, getting ready to hit Florida, that we're trying to assess cause and effect of a storm. There'll be a day and time to talk about that.
And that day and time will be after we've safely gathered all the wealthy survivors onto a spaceship taking us to the Elysium space station to escape an uninhabitable planet. But wait a minute. It seems like we're always experiencing some record-breaking disaster. Irma came right after Harvey, and Jose might be on the way too, to say nothing of all the disasters around the world, including Miss DeVos. Are climate deniers holding off on the conversation until disasters just become constant and they never have to talk about it? Because at this point, we're all catching on to these cynical meathead blowhards.
Oh, the humanity. How will we ever rebuild? The apes will soon rule the Earth.
Oh no, I'm up to my waist in flood water and my car blew away. No, I'm serious right now. I just don't know how to stop being sarcastic. Help me, I can't feel my legs. Really? Also, it's pretty alarming that the people who say we can't help victims and talk about the cause of the storm at the same time are the people running the government. They can't multitask? Wait. Does the fact that we're helping victims of Hurricane Harvey mean that no one's watching the nuclear arsenal? Because if so, I could totally use an ICBM. It goes beyond the administration and right-wing media, though. While covering Hurricane Harvey, neither ABC nor NBC aired a single segment about the connections between severe weather and global warming. CNN and MSNBC did do slightly better, maybe trying to compensate for ad revenue they've gotten over the years from ExxonMobil, the Koch brothers, and Bosley Hair Restoration. Shills. According to one study, following news that Earth was going through its hottest span ever, CNN aired less than 5 minutes of climate change coverage, but 23 minutes of fossil fuel ads. Want to know what happened to the reporters who pushed for more climate change coverage?
I'm leaning my entire body against.
1 second. Hang on, Sarah. The Emmy should be hurtling towards you any moment now. So from here on out, will the media finally take the threat of global warming seriously? And hey, who knows? Opt for less Coke industry money and more baldness industry money? That is, will they start using the C word and stop acting like actual C words? Cowards. The C word is cowards. Duh. What do you think it was? Stop.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was very well done.
Well, we can talk about this, but not today.
No. Today we're gonna get out of here with a song from at least American childhood. I don't know what the Germans were listening to. Marcus said they had a version of this in Germany, though. Did you hear it as a kid?
Yes, it could be already here in Germany as a kid. I don't know how old this song is actually, because I think as far as I can remember, I know this song. If there's a German version of this, yeah, it is a famous song.
Oh, and it's gone too.
Shit. It was a famous song. Sorry.
It was a famous.
I was telling John I learned this song in 4th grade in our folk music little concert that we did, and we sang it for our parents.
Same here. This was like I must have been,
The climate
grade.
control, all that was it was ecology back then. That was the
Yes.
buzzword.
Yes.
Ecology in the early 70s.
Early 70s, yeah, ecology. But that was also, the EPA had been created. We were pretty much on it with that era. We lost it in the 80s, but for the early 70s,
we had smog. And we had litter by the side of the roads. That was considered the height of.
And it was bad. I mean, it was bad. I remember there was a big clean up
smog
your
in
trash
LA.
thing.
So much
Smog was
worse.
bad. Denver had the brown cloud.
Yeah.
And now they can't avoid it because they fracked the whole fucking place. But Denver had the brown cloud. The interesting point about this song. So we're doing Peter, Paul, and Mary. Where have all the flowers gone? Which has been denoted by some people as being a classic of political. Song and
what about the Vietnam War?
Well, it was actually taken from. I was reading the Wikipedia, and Pete Seeger wrote it in 1955. So it can't be Vietnam.
Oh, you're right.
Yes,
it was
I think
popularized during Vietnam. Then
I think the history in Germany goes back to the Second World War. It was a reaction of the generation after the Second World War, and they're asking, tell me where the men are gone, and they were all left in the war, I think. It addresses the Second World War.
That is probably accurate because the truth is this song. Parts of the words from the song come from an old Cossack traditional song. Cossacks being in Poland, Polish military, and it was a traditional song. I don't know how far back it goes, but talking about the war, that basically the where are all the flowers? They're with the girls who married the husbands who went off to war, and now they're at the graves. Right. That's basically the point of basically the wheel of death, the global arms trade, but just back in the day, way back in the day, right?
Yes.
And so the sad thing about this is that it's considered a traditional folk song from Poland or from that area. Who knows how old it is? But it just tells you humanity hasn't changed. We have the means today as a people to do that. We have the technology, we have the resources. We could actually make a global. We're in the process of trying to make that happen. It's been started and stopped many times in the past, but this seems to be the constant struggle between those in power who have abused and corrupted that power for their own greed, and they're the few against the many that recognize this sucks. They need to do something about it, right? The problem is right now, where have all the flowers gone? To me, as a kid, I didn't quite grasp it. It's just a sad song that I could sing. Today, I see where the flowers go. I see them burned. I see them drowned. I see them destroyed by chemicals. I see the same thing happening to the women and the men and the children. And all I really see is a lot more graves. And
when will we ever learn?
Right. That's it. God damn it. That's it. So we're going to listen to this song. This version is just the original version. I found a couple others, but I couldn't verify that we could play them because they're. But if you really want to watch, I mean, they've been doing this song a long time. And there's many versions of them doing it in concerts where everybody sings along with them, and it's really very cool. And to tell you the truth, favorite song, Peter, Paul, and Mary, Puff the Magic Dragon, which at the time as a kid was just a really fucking cool song. And today, I just wonder if it has any other meanings. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. There's also lots of videos of them singing that song too, by the way. But, thank you all for being here, everybody. Thank you all for everything you do. We'll see you.
John.
Happy Saturday.
Happy
Hopefully
Saturday.
the world won't end today.
Not today.
But
Not today.
Thanks for
we will
watching.
see you tomorrow. What is that? Tomorrow. Join us
Progressive
tomorrow
Oregon.
for Progressive Oregon with Larry Taylor. They're going to be talking about the housing crisis, without housing, everything that's been going on in Oregon related to that, because Oregon, despite its progressiveness, really has some shit problems with homelessness and housing issues because not primarily because of this, but it's been drastically exacerbated by the fact that we have the weed industry here, and that's raised rents and prices everywhere, right? And that's a problem for people that are relying on living close to a metropolitan center to find a job, right? So anyway, that's tomorrow, and then the pseudo-intellectuals is on hiatus for a few weeks, a month in total, but this will be one of the weeks while they reorganize and figure out what they're doing. So thank you all for being here. And
then Monday night.
Oh, right. And then, shit, Monday. God damn it. Hang on.
You mentioned her before, but
Well,
Monday night,
I did, but
Happy
I've got the card here. So hang on. Let me show everybody this, because we need to I want to bring more people to these We the People. So if you could help us out and share this out on social media, I'd appreciate it. Here's what we got coming up. 9:25, Kathy Myers. 9:27, Rick Shepard. Then I am gone. So there won't be anything happening after 9:27 until I get home. I get home on 10/2. I will broadcast again on 10/4 or 10/3 if it's, I don't even know what day that is. 10/3. Anyway, that's
10/4
when
is a Wednesday.
So
okay.
Okay.
That probably is it.
10/4 will be the Wednesday. That's Topher Brennan. We were supposed to have Topher a long time ago, but it was too hot here, if you guys remember. And then there's the big long list. I've got.
So Topher's running against Dianne Feinstein, and then we have Rick Shepard on this coming up Wednesday, who's running for Congress. And he's been in chat a couple of times.
Yeah,
so,
I saw that.
It'd be good to So yeah.
Looking forward to talking to Rick.
Yeah.
That's like a Rick Shepard is like that's an American name. He's got a good name for that. It's a good. Makes me think. Anyway, I'm looking forward to talking to him. He has dropped into chat a few times, and we had I didn't realize who he was. He's like, there are other people running against Feinstein. I'm like, yeah, who? And he's like, me. And I'm like, well, let us know.
Well, no, he's not running against Feinstein. But
whoever it was.
And we're like, wow, you should come on the show. And it's like, yeah, you're already booked for the 27th. So
right. Who is it? There's other people running against somebody. He's running
in Nevada.
Yeah.
He's not running. He's not Bobby Mahendra's district. He's a different district.
No.
So
it's
anyway.
This is why we have to create these We the Peoples in the States. I am not going to be able to keep track.
Yeah.
No. It's just gonna get bad. It's gonna get really. Who are you? Why don't you get off my lawn? It's gonna be that way. Get off my channel. I don't know what you're running for.
Yeah, but everyone, the events for Kathy Myers and Rick Shepard are already created.
Yes.
If you go to the channel, you can see there. Go ahead and share now, and definitely share beforehand. We need more people watching that show. It's a good show.
Yes, we do.
You guys are our conduit to the outside world.
Yes, and yeah, guys. Real jingy where I'm going is I have to go to Jersey. Yeah. I have to go to New Jersey and hang out with my brother and my sister and help my Aunt Chris clean out Grandma's house, and then we have to do some really boring Catholic ceremony shit. My goal is just to not fall asleep through that, and then I'm going to be on a plane home. So it's 2 days of being on planes, 2 days of working my ass off and some Catholic crap, and that's it. That's what it is. Just the shit you got to do. Thank you guys, Schultze, Jilly. Nice to be here. All right, here we go. Getting out of here with Where Have All the Flowers Gone? In honor of Peter, Paul, and Mary, Where Have All the Flowers Gone, and Puff the Magic Dragon, I invite you all to light up today. Save the galaxy. Plant a cannabis and smoke a cannabis. Thank you, Laura and Marcus.
Thank you, John.
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls have picked them, every one. Oh, when will they ever learn? Oh, when will they ever learn? Where have all the young girls gone? Long time passing. Where have all the young girls gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young girls gone? Gone for husbands, everyone. Oh, when will they ever learn? Oh, when will they ever learn? Where have all the husbands gone? Long time passing. Where have all the husbands gone? Long time ago. Where have all the husbands gone? Gone for soldiers, everyone. Oh, when will they ever learn? Oh, when will they ever learn? Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the soldiers gone? Gone to graveyards, everyone.